video, Monique and Charlamagne Tha God have some differences they needed to iron out.
Back in the day, like 2018.
Breakfast Nubs called me the donkey of the day, and they had a whole call-in. But you didn't do the same thing when you found out we settled. Now all of a sudden, don't nobody know what a settlement is. We just want to throw it away. So with that Netflix special, it was just like, no, guys, I gotta stand up.
Now, if you remember Monique back in the day, like 2018, called for a boycott of Netflix, saying they lowballed her. Monique said in an Instagram video that Netflix offered her $500,000 for a comedy special, and she pointed out Amy Schumer was offered $11 million, Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock $20 million. I gave her donkey of the day for that because it was, in my opinion, that Monique, wasn't on the level of Dave, Amy, and Chris, and she came on Breakfast Club and said this.
And what happens is when you're basing off of what you're assuming, and then you give me a title of donkey of the day. Is your mother still alive?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're from what city in South Carolina?
Moncks Corner, South Carolina.
Moncks Corner. And if I was to call your mother or your grandmother, could they tell me stories of inequality that they had to deal with?
Absolutely.
So would your mother be a donkey?
No.
Would your grandmother be a donkey?
No.
I need you to explain how you gave me the title because you're not explaining it. You're going off of what I assume, but because you're on that microphone, and when we open up these microphones, we know just how powerful our voices can be, don't we, Angela?
Yes, we do.
And we know that what we say can become law. Correct, Lenore?
Absolutely.
So when we do that, we must then explain it to our community because we know how poisonous it can be when we put things out, but we can't back it up. We just say it.
Monique, you were right. I had no business speaking on your business, okay? There's absolutely a pay discrepancy for black women. Black women are typically paid only 67 cents for every dollar paid to white men, and the wage gap actually widens to 65 cents on the dollar for black women who hold doctorate degrees compared to white men with the same education, okay? Not to mention, all the proof is in the pudding. When you see a company as big as Netflix with all the money Netflix has, they could have dragged this out, okay? They settled with Monique, okay? And still put out a Monique comedy special, okay? Monique, God bless you, sister. And if you have never heard me say this before, or if I've never said it because I was born in 1978 and my memory is not what it used to be, I apologize for being wrong, okay? I say it again. Man, shut up.
No, sir. So Charlamagne has to back it up. He has to walk that dog back, admit when he was wrong, apologize to Monique, and moved on. And that's what a grown man do, right? So I'm happy they were able to squash their beef and move on from it. As you come onto the page, kindly hit that like down and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet. Thank you. When the Queens of Comedy was on tour, we made history. And I don't know if you've done your homework, because we were the only female group, black, white, Latin, Asian, to sell out consecutively around this country. But you'll disregard that.
Should you have gotten more than 500,000? Yes, and I've said that from day one.
Well, here's what I'll say.
That's what we're saying, though. No, that's not what y'all was saying. What y'all was saying was y'all should have got the same amount that Chris Rock, Chappelle, and Amy Schumer got.
Let me answer that. Let me answer that, Daddy. What I said was, if I'm considered a legend, like my brothers, then why wouldn't I get what legends get?
I'm still trying to get you and Brother Sidney to justify why you think you deserve $13 million. Was there a bidding war between platforms?
Well, when you say
I want to know something.
When you say justify, I'm gonna put my resume on the table. I don't have to justify it. You can see it.
Do you do the numbers and ticket sales that Chris Rock does, that Dave Chappelle does, that Amy Schumer does?
If given the opportunities, why don't you answer the question?
So there are people that say that you didn't treat people well.
Yes.
And that they've had issues working with you and that you're difficult.
Yes, that's a great question. You know the guy Harvey Weinstein?
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to do that for how many years?
Decades.
And why do you think that was? Do you think this is a unique situation? Do you think that people are fearful to speak out when they're mistreated?
There's a difference between mistreatment and sexual assault. Like, come on, we can't put out false equivalencies about people. I understand what you're trying to say.
Wait a minute, Charlamagne.
What is the difference between mistreatment and sexual assault?
Let me say this to you.
Like, it's levels to mistreatment.
When you hear this brother's voice come over the air, and I'm unapologetic about what I'm getting ready to say, he does not have a value on black women and women of color.
How can you say
when the Queens of Comedy was on tour, see, we made history. And I don't know if you've done your homework, because we were the only female group, black, white, Latin, Asian, to sell out consecutively around this country. But you'll disregard that. As you come onto the page, don't forget to hit that like down and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet. Thank you. Just come out.
I've explained it. I said community. I've explained it. I said that I think that you're using racial and gender bias, which are actual real real issue. The struggle that the black woman is going through in many industries is a real issue, but you're using it to focus on something that you're dealing with individually.
Leonard, did you just see Viola Davis come out and say pay her equally? Did you just hear that?
Absolutely.
So when you have us saying the same thing, we're saying pay us equally. You're saying, oh, Monique, this is an isolated situation. Well, then what that says is you don't know the history of this business that you're in. And you sit behind this microphone and you try to be the guru of black culture. I'm going to need you to know the history of us before you begin to label us. And once you know the history, you know I'm not saying anything unique, brother.
Thank y'all. All right.
Daddy, thank you so much, my sweet baby, for having us. You know what, brother? You're going to hear yourself a lot from me lately. You're going to hear yourself around the world because we have to explain brothers like you. And when we watched that movie, Birth of a Nation, and we saw that man walk his wife into that master's house, we watched him walk his wife in. Then we watched him go back and get him. You're that brother. I thank y'all for your time, my babies.
Okay, well, thank you.
That's you leave the page. Hit that like bell for me and subscribe if you haven't done so as yet.
Thank you for watching.